just another instance of me just grabbing the camera and fucking recording. Like I said, I don't even know what the structure of posting all of these is really going to be like, but I do know one core principle, that I am documenting the journey of what success actually looks like. So, reflection of the day. First call I had this morning was with two of my mentors, and they had to be really hard on me. They showed me a level of tough love and really, to say it in the most blunt way possible, basically said I was being a bitch, right? And what exactly I mean by that, I embody this identity of being a student so much, which of course is such a powerful thing. Of course, I'm still developing, but I've developed a level of skills where I've been so hard on myself and really bashing myself after each call, thinking, hey, I need to do all these things better. This was terrible, which at the end of the day, subconsciously was lowering my level of confidence and was impacting, funny enough, the way I'd actually show up on my calls. Because I have this thing where, of course, it's so great to have this trait that everything is my fault. I could always be accountable and there's always room to improve. But I was overdoing it, and I would consistently have this thought in the back of my mind of really not being good enough and not knowing what to say. So that's the first point. And initially, really what they told me and really dug in, they really had to tear me down to be able to build me up, is really that I have to embody more of the confidence, energy, and really, to be super blunt and simple, being that guy. I have a level of skill set. Just operate from more of a place of gratitude. I wake up every single morning thanking God, thanking everything, just with a smile on my face. I literally lay down in my bed and smile because I'm happy that I woke up and I made that a common trait. And I just need to really allow that to bleed into my calls, this entire gratitude and really service, that I am able to help people from the comfort of my own home. Although I am in the setup, I mean, you could see the dungeon back here, literally a closet set up that you can't really tell when I'm on the calls. But even being able to work from really wherever I want and be on this grind is something that I should be so thankful for. There's people out there that have things infinitely times worse than I can even imagine, that had a better mentality than I did. One of them also called me out and was like, you should be pissed off that I have the lowest close rate of everybody on the team for this past week, or most likely even the past month. And I think subconsciously that actually flicked the switch. And today, funny enough, I closed pretty much every single person that I pitched. So I closed a mid-ticket deal, $1,300, and on top of that, I also closed a 6.8K paid in full. So made 680 in commissions off of that. Something I realized with having that call as well is that not every process has to be perfect. There's so many things that I'll talk about on these videos and so many things that I'm still learning, but just things like flipping switches and cognitive biases, really understanding how people even make decisions on calls like this has been really such a powerful thing. So an analogy that I'll leave you with, to really help you with calls if you're in the same exact position, imagine doors and anchors. Whenever you have a notepad, write this in front of you. Write a letter D and then a letter A, and you want to draw a fat line down the middle, separating two of those columns. So under doors, those are going to be all potential objections that you might get, right? So if people said they're busy, the time, you mentioned having a wife, any of these things, you'd write that indoors, because we want to make sure that by the time we get to the end of the call, we close any doors that they open, which is really a reason to be able to exit out of the call. And then on the next side of that, go ahead and put anchors. And those are going to be key points, keywords that they use, and actual points that you want to really dive deeper on. So if they say something that sticks out super significantly, write it down. Instead of just writing a bunch of pages and pages of random notes of what they're saying, this is actually how you do it with more structure. And with that, I realized we want to be able to close every single door that they're opening on these calls. So any potential objections, all these different things, you can imagine it like a dark hallway, right? And with all these are all going to be all these different doors that they open. And at the end of it, we want to be able to close every single one of those doors in the hallway and just leave one golden door at the very end. And that's going to be closing the deal on the call, actually having them make the commitment to make a change and not allowing them to have any excuses by the time we get to the end, because so many people will have these rationalizations and excuses just to step away from it, right? And that ties into everything when it comes to in depth with the cognitive biases, how to really work with the prospect's brain to really ensure that you sell ethically and actually guide them to really change. So yeah, that was my rant for the day. Of course, a lot of key points to improve. One is still going to be implementing with more speed. The last 2 days have been amazing. I've done a lot of work throughout the days since I haven't used social media for pretty much around 9-10 days now at all. Feels effortlessly. Love you guys all. We'll stay in touch. Peace. I'm sitting here really planning what am I even going to do or like post for my YouTube. Just posting in general. When I say I was literally in the process, like you literally see like me building this out, and then I figured just pick up the camera and record a vulnerable moment that I'm actually having right now. So I'm selling for 2 offers. One that I'm the only closer, something I fully believe in, and then the other one is an offer where I could have a lot of calls, have volume, and of course get better. I'll be honest with you, I just see notifications come through. Somebody on my team closing a 10K deal earlier today. Another person on my team also closing another bigger deal, another 10K. And for me, I haven't closed really anything this week, and I feel like I'm like, fuck, dude. I generally know that I am the best. Then again, I haven't had really the actions to show that I am, right? Because in reality, I could say anything, but if I'm not living up to my actions and what the actual things that I am saying, none of it really fucking matters. So I think the biggest actionable step moving forward is going to be the volume of sales calls I actually have, right? I mean, haven't really taken any calls. Today I had one. Yesterday I also had one. A lot of no-shows and reschedules, but something that I'm realizing, I feel like it's so easy to be like, yeah, I have all these no-shows and all this shit. There's definitely more that I could be doing on my own end to make sure I don't get these. So dialing the leads, calling them up, getting them back on my calendar. So as far as actionable steps, I'm going to go ahead and get these people back on my calendar, and we'll see where we're at. I feel so much more dialed. In the past, I would show up to my sales calls feeling nervous. And when I say the past, this is just even like 2 weeks ago. At least with this new offer, I'd be a little bit nervous leading up to the sales call. And I feel like that's something that has finally completely died. I never really had that before. So that's something that's a huge green flag with the calls I had today. Is that I've realized I was never clear on what exactly implementing actually meant and what it looked like. So now I was able to build clarity. A key point thing to do is going to be a really in-depth tracker for your numbers. And with that, I've been able to see where inside of my process I'm actually fucking up, which for me, I feel like a huge area of improvement is going to be building the problem premise. And I know it's such a fundamental and basic thing, but I used to dive in and try to go like straight into pain. I realized I was never really building the problem in itself and what's currently going on. And with that, I feel like it's caused me so many deals. So I also invested in a mentorship recently. It's been amazing so far. I've been able to learn so many things, and I just got started not even a couple of days ago, so I'll also document the process as I improve with that. I literally just grabbed this camera. I realized imperfect action will always be stronger than perfection and not taking action. I literally wrote on my phone, just pick up the fucking camera. That's exactly what I did right now with this, I guess I'd say, post-day reflection. We'll stay in touch. Maybe I put this as part of a longer vlog, maybe something across the week. I'll come up with the structure as I go, but really trying to nail down the imperfect action part of it, and from there I'll improve and I'll tweak. It is currently 7:05 p.m. What day is it?
It is September 26th.
And I'm currently on the way to
Buy his first Mac.
Hey, funny enough, I've been
first purchase.
Making money from my mama's laptop. So speak of the devil.
She's calling.
I just bought myself one of these brand new MacBook Air. And it's funny, like it doesn't seem like any crazy, win, crazy big accomplishment or anything like that. But after buying this, I had a really strong realization. Within my last year, more profoundly, a couple of months of being seriously on this entrepreneurship journey, I have been taking sales calls and essentially making money from my mom's laptop. I am still, funny enough, still inside of the closet in the office setup, and that'll be another video when I move out and get my first place. I'm sure I'll have a video where I cool car, all these different things. But I just realized this is like really going to be one of those big first purchases that I've actually made on myself when it actually comes to investing. Of course, I've invested in programs and stuff like that, but being able to do something like this really leverages responsibility that I actually have over myself. And you might ask, what do I mean by that? And funny enough, it's like so funny, right? Because it's just like a fucking MacBook. It's nothing crazy, you know, but it is a sign that I am starting to mature and start tapping into a higher version of myself. Just figured I'd record the moment, and I'll be watching this back one day, giving it a good laugh with all the other crazy accomplishments I have. Something I learned from Iman. I invested in his mentorship when I was like 17 years old, and it was really going to be investing in things that make you enjoy your work more. So max out your office setup, your space, anything that you feel like is going to make you more productive. And this is generally something that I was just thinking about all day. I realized I've been using my mom's old laptop for around the last 2 years, and figured why not just do something for myself, something I enjoy and something that'll make my work more enjoyable. So I know it didn't sound anything that crazy, but yeah, figured it was a pretty cool moment for myself. Talk soon.